How often do you have a great idea, only to forget it 15 seconds later? How often do you read an amazing book, learn so much, and forget it all within 2 days? How often do you become disorganized? For me, a couple of years ago, the answers were always, always, and always. That was until I discovered Notion. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how I organize my entire life on Notion, from my second brain to the projects I'm currently working on to my to-do list, how I organize everything, remember everything, and keep track of everything. There'll be a link in the description if you want to copy the template I created and use it yourself. Let's get into it. This is the landing page of what I like to call my Life Hub on Notion. You can see a couple things here. You can see my second brain, which we'll get into, categories, archive, and then all the projects that I'm currently working on and my to-do list. And a nice little quote at the bottom here, of course. So let me start with active projects. The projects database is inspired by Ali Abdaal's energy investment portfolio. The energy investment portfolio is based on the idea that not doing things is based on a lack of energy rather than a lack of time. So this is what the projects database looks like. If I go to create a new project, I can name it, let's say, make Notion video. And I can do status, this is in the future, and type, this is a project. And then I can either decide if it's a trip or a project. And if it's a project, this is the template I've created for a new project. What is the project? What are the things I want to accomplish? What are the next steps with time estimates? Add them on Google Calendar and make them actionable. What are the goals for the project? So if you want to keep things simple, you can just make this empty. I have the project template there if it's a heavy duty project and you need to add things in your calendar. But generally when I'm making these, I keep them empty and I just have the project itself as a page. There are 3 different statuses for projects: future, which are projects I want to work on in the future, obviously; active, all the projects I'm currently working on; and completed, all the projects that I've completed. So if I click on my future projects, I can see all of the things I want to do at some point in the future. And if I'm currently working on it, I can drag it over to my active section or click on the project and then click active. So I'm going to move these back over to future so I can show you the projects that I'm actually working on. And these are all of the projects that I currently am working on. So YouTube, obviously I run my YouTube channel, so that is currently an ongoing project. And these are all the pages that go along with my YouTube channel. I'll show you a little bit of that in a little bit. 12-week year, which is another project that I'm working on. I made a video about 12-week year. You can check that out. It's basically just new habits that I'm trying to start, goals that I'm trying to accomplish within the next 12 weeks. So this is one of my ongoing projects. And flip side, this is my job where I work. So this is an ongoing project. And the Walkcast, which is the podcast that I run. Haven't been able to make a video in a while because it's been cold, so can't go for walks, but this is also an ongoing project. And I like to think of each of these projects as their own little hub for that project or their own category or area. So among each of these, as you saw, there's pages that go, sub-pages that go within the project. So for that new project that I just created, let's say it was write a book, and that's active, I would put anything in here that has to do with writing that book. So this could be intro. This would be the first subpage, and it would be, and you can see that over time, your projects start to develop these little organizational systems. And these kind of help you move the projects along or organize them and keep them all in one central place to go along with the project. So it's just kind of a nice, easy way to keep things organized, and it's nice and clean. Things are kind of already separated by category here. If I go into each of these, YouTube, you can see my video home base, which would be any upcoming videos I have. You can see idea and next up, needs thumbnail, needs research, needs to be done, in progress. And then we can do my second brain, my YouTube second brain. These are things that I've learned from other YouTubers or from classes I've taken about YouTube. Then we have my A/B test hub, expenses, default description for each video, just things that go along with the project itself. Same with Flipside, which is my work, things that go along with my work, keep it all organized, Walkcasts, same thing, things that go along with the project. So it's really easy to keep everything organized and put everything along with projects. So these are my future projects, and it's nice. Now let me show you my to-dos database. This is a batch to-do list, and it's based on the idea from Make Time that batching your to-dos and doing a large group of them all at once is much more effective and much more time efficient. And so I've implemented that in my second brain, and I find it to be much more effective. But I basically, whenever I think of something that I need to do at some point, I will go on my phone or on my computer, make a new to-do. This would be, I don't know, get groceries, right? There's 3 different things that go along with each to-do item. There's the urgency, this would be how urgent it is, the energy it's required, and the status. So this would be future. So let me delete this one and show you this. So the to-do list itself is organized originally by urgency and secondly by energy level. So the things that are most urgent appear at the top, and if there's a lot of urgent things, they appear by energy level. So it would be low energy, then high energy, medium energy, then high energy. So it automatically organizes it for you. And how the to-do list works is at some point you go through your future list and you move a batch of them to your next batch, which would be when you go to do your future to-dos all at once. So let's say you set aside 2 or 3 hours to do a batch of things from your to-do list once a week. Then maybe you think you could accomplish 5 or 10 of those. So then when you're going through your planning for the week, you go ahead and move some of these to your next batch. So let's say that's gonna take me like 20 minutes. This will take me like 20 minutes as well. So I'm gonna set aside 3 hours, maybe put this one in there too. So as you can see, move a couple of these over to my next batch. And let's say I set aside enough things, that's gonna take me 2 or 3 hours in my next batch. Then when the time of the calendar comes, or when I'm ready to do my next batch, I go in and look at it and I say, okay, what do I wanna do from this next batch right now first? And I move that to in progress. So let me move this to in progress, and it'll show up over here for in progress. If I'm doing a couple things at once from the batch, I do these all one after another, all in a row. So I could go ahead and move the entire batch in progress, or one at a time, whatever you prefer. Then I go ahead and do each of these. And when they're completed, I just drag them into completed, and they will disappear. I'm just gonna go back to my future, but they'll disappear. And in my completed, I have all the things that I've accomplished. So that's the projects and the to-dos, which are the kind of the main homepage for the whole system. And now let's get into the second brain. This is based on the book Building a Second Brain by Tiago Forte, which I won't get too much into because I'm going to make a video on that book in the future. But basically, every time I learn something from a book or a podcast or anything, conversation, I go ahead and add a new entry to the second brain. So let's say I just learned the 5-minute rule from the most recent habit video I just created. This would be productivity, and the source would be Ryan Leafbro, me on YouTube, related knowledge. So this is the beauty of the second brain. I can scroll through all the things that are already in my second brain and relate them to this topic. So first I want to write what the 5-minute rule is. 5-minute rule. Okay, so that's what the 5-minute rule is. Now I go through my second brain and I relate it to anything else in there. So the 5-minute rule will say maybe this is related to I choose to do this versus I have to do this, or seek out the fun, or I don't know, anchor your identity and your values. So all these random things in my second brain. that are related to this. You start to build a digital web in your second brain that starts to kind of build a digital web in your physical brain. It's just interesting because when you learn new things from books, you can connect them to older things that you know, from conversations, from books, from podcasts, and you just kind of remember a lot more things. You're not just constantly consuming and mindlessly kind of roaming and forgetting everything that you're learning. You're actually putting it to use. And so that's how the second brain works. And then down here, this is another part of the second brain. This is not going to be in the template itself. You'll have to add this because these are basically tools that I use to sync things. So this part here automatically syncs my notes from Kindle using a tool called Readwise. You can find this tool yourself and use it yourself. If you take a lot of notes with Kindle, it might be nice. I've started reading more physical books. That's why there's not a lot of notes here and books here. But if you take notes on Kindle, it would be nice to automatically sync them here. And then you can go through and look at each one and maybe copy the quote and use it to add notes to your second brain. And then Snipe, this is a tool that I use to listen to podcasts. It allows you to take notes by clicking a button that actually summarizes the last 30 seconds for you and creates a little snip. And you can actually kind of copy these over and use them in your second brain as well. So when I'm listening to podcasts, I like to take snips and they automatically show up in here. And then I use them in my second brain. So that's the Knowledge Hub / second brain section. And then let's get into the categories. So the categories are just things in your life that are recurring, that are not active projects, but they're areas that are part of your life. So this could be finance, relationship, productivity. These are what mine are. And if I click on each one of these, there are pages to go along with each one. Basically, this is for just different categories and different areas of your life. This is going to be pretty personalized, so I won't get too much into this. But basically, you add each area of your life here, and then you put different pages in there that go along with it, so you can keep everything nice and organized. So these are just kind of recurring areas that are not active projects and that will never be completed that you can use and reference. So lastly, the archive. This is just things that I've already completed, things that are finished. So when you're done with something, it's a page or whatever it is, you can just move it on over to the archive and not need to worry about deleting it, because if you ever need it back, it'll be in the archive there for you, so you can go get it back. So yeah, that's it. I'll leave a link to the template in the description if you want to use it yourself. That's where I'm at right now with my my Notion operating system for my life. But yeah, I've been using this for a while and it works very effectively, but I'm constantly changing it and evolving it. So I'll probably make a new video within the next couple of months on where I'm at with the new Notion operating system. If you guys have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments. I'll check them out, or I'll check out your templates if you leave them in the description. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe, click the notification bell, and like this video, and check out my other videos. Thanks for watching.